those moments that prepared me for life. Something that a book, something that a school could never have taught me. Life taught me.
I wake up half past 5, thank God I'm still alive. Start seeing flashing lights, I guess it's time to shine. It's time to start my day, first thing I do is pray. He says to make a way, just know you'll be
your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Boom! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me as always, man. And we ready to do it. We ready to heat it up, man, because it's the road to WrestleMania, the road to stand and deliver, to road to reality of wrestling, man. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I woke up this morning, we ain't got no seats left in the house, and that's after adding, another, like, I don't know, 50 seats or something like that. We all sold out. So guess what? We're going to add a few more seats, man, because like I told you guys, I was knocking out a wall at Reality Wrestling. I got construction crew in there right now building to make sure you guys get a seat in there. So, guys, make sure you come check us out. April 13th is going down. Pay up, man. Pay up. It's going down at the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena. I'm going to tell you right now, when you guys come out there this time, April 13th, you're going to see something special. Just check out. It's going to be something shining like real bright at night. So wait a minute. They like saving time, so it's getting dark a little later now, right?
It's getting dark later, yeah.
And it sucks. It sucks.
7:30 it gets dark.
We started at 7 o'clock, but guys, we got a lot of new bells and whistles at Reality Wrestling. Of course, the King of the Indies, Matt Cardona, will be stepping inside the Reality Wrestling, as well as Kenny King special attractions main event. You don't want to miss out. You don't want to get shut out. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing good, Book. You know why I'm doing good? Because in a couple of days from now, you and I are going to be on a plane out to Las Vegas, Nevada for Fight Week. And we're gonna be getting it done, man. We're gonna be doing a lot of stuff when we're out there. So you make sure you check us out. Hit subscribe on the YouTube channel so you can find all the exclusive stuff that we're gonna do when we're in Vegas. I know we're gonna hit P1 up, and I know we're gonna have Scripps on the show today, which I'm really excited to talk to him.
Got Scripps coming in, but yeah, I cannot wait, man. Gonna be heading out to Las Vegas on the 28th. The fight is going to be going down on the 30th. Sebastian Fundora taking on Tim Zoo. 154-pound guys, 154-pound, man. Those guys go out there and they bang. Sebastian Fundora 20-1, and Tim Zoo is 24-0. That's going to be a fight that you do not want to miss, as well as the co-main event, Rolly Romero. You know about this boy. He talks a whole lot of trash, but he's going to be taking on Isak Pitbull Cruz in the co-main event. It's going to be awesome, man. As well as Irish Lara is going to be on the card. The American Dream. So guys, I can't wait. Like Brad said, we're going to be doing a little bit of something special. I told you guys we're going to be doing a little bit of streaming from the fight. All exciting points. Not the whole fight or anything like that. But when it get exciting, you know what I mean? Expect for us to go live, on the gram or something like that. That's what they call it, right? The gram.
Graham.
Yeah. We might go live on the gram, and all excited. Knockouts. We're gonna be going live, letting you guys know exactly what's going on. So I can't wait, man. Like you say, B1. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, we back.
Man, what I love about boxing is it's always great to watch. I mean, any boxing. We've had some great boxing, at reality wrestling over the years at the venue. I mean, with Lou Savarese and different promotions. It's always great to see boxing anywhere, but something about it being in Las Vegas just adds a little extra element to it. Because we've been to fights in Los Angeles, we've been to fights in Dallas, we've been to fights here in Houston. But something about that Vegas atmosphere adds a little something about it. And, we're actually getting a boxing question real quick. Do you mind if we field this? Because I do want to know your thoughts on this.
Let's do it.
This is from Chuck PCville Boxing. Says, Book, your thoughts on Canelo demanding 150 to 200 million to fight Benavidez.
That's it. That's a cash out, man. That's all that is. He said, man, look, this is gonna be the one. I already know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? So if I can get as much money as I possibly can on this deal, that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I don't see Canelo having the advantage over Benavidez at all. That could actually be a one-sided fight after 5 rounds. It really could. That kid Benavidez, he is truly a monster. He really is. So I feel like that's just Canelo saying, look, if I'm gonna fight him, I want to get as much money as I possibly can and walk away from the sport.
And let me ask you this too, to follow up on what we're going to see this weekend, because Keith One Time Thurman was going to be in the main event, pulled out because of an injury to his bicep. Where do you think that leaves his career moving forward? I mean, do we see him back? Because a bicep can be pretty damaging, especially when you're in a sport with just your arms.
Yeah, that's true. But we saw Keith Thurman go out for quite some time. He was out of the game for a couple of years, I think. And he made his return against Mario Barrios, and that wasn't no cakewalk or anything. But Keith Thurman made it look like it was a cakewalk. I mean, he made it look very, very easy. I was thoroughly surprised as far as what Keith Thurman had still left in the tank. So I think a bicep injury is not something that that's you can't say he can't overcome or anything like that. Yeah, I think he'll be back. Will he still be that one time had that one hitter quitter? We'll see.
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at. I was trying to find the date. So we were there, MGM Grand, 2019, July 2019, when he lost the fight to Manny Pacquiao, by decision, and then his next fight was almost 3 years later, about two years, 8 months later in 2022. We're now in the early parts of 2024, so it's been 2 years since he fought Mario Barrios. How long do you think he's going to be on the shelf, and is he going to look to fight this year?
It's according to how long it takes that injury to heal, man. This is a big blow right here. But then again, it could be a blessing in disguise, man. Just because Tim Tszyu ain't no joke. This guy is the real deal, and he's looking to prove himself by beating all of the best fighters in the division. I don't think it's by coincidence that we're seeing him fighting Sebastian Fundora, just because this is a fight that I mean, from the odds makers, you can look it up. This got to be a relatively even matchup. And for him to step into that fire, even after Sebastian Fundora got knocked out by Mendoza, I still think Sebastian Fundora is top notch, literally at the top of the food chain as far as division go. This is going to be a hell of a fight. Like I said, I don't know if you looked up the odds as far as this fight goes, but I'm sure it's going to be a relatively close match.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull them up here as we're fighting. At the time of that we're doing this, let's see. Tszyu is a minus 525 favorite. Sebastian Fundora plus 370. So 100 wins you 370 with Fundora.
I'm surprised.
You got to bet 525 to win 100 if you're going with Yeah.
Yeah. I'm surprised, just because me personally, I know Tim Tszyu is a slugger. I mean, he's a puncher, boxer puncher as well. Um, very high fight IQ. But everybody up until the knockout pretty much was beaten to a pulp by Sebastian Fandura. So I'm looking forward to actually seeing that fight, man. Like I say, the co-main event, Romero, Pitbull Cruz. Definitely looking forward to seeing that one as well.
Yeah, so a lot of fights going on in Las Vegas, this weekend, and I'm excited that we're going to be joining the fray. But also, Book, um, we're still on the road to WrestleMania because WrestleMania is what 14 days away, something like that. We're going to be in Philadelphia here in just a couple weeks. It's going to go from coast to coast here.
Yeah, man, and it's heating up. It's heating up. I was reading some stuff, about The Rock. The Rock causing a big problem for WrestleMania, being the ultimate bad guy right now. A lot of people got a lot of things to say about, The Rock. And I mean personally, like I said, I commented on it as far as I think The Rock is doing some really great work as far as being the heel's heel, not buying into the way people look at it today, but the way he went out and did it back in the day, and seeing if it still works, and me personally, from the outside looking in, it's got everybody buzzing, everybody's talking about what's going on, and for me, I think this is one of the most intriguing WrestleMania seasons that we've been in quite some time.
Yeah, I agree. And you know what? Shout out to that man, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes are going to be the first two guys to ever main event both nights of WrestleMania, back-to-back main events. For those guys pulling double duty. You know what double duty means, Book? Double the pay. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Give me a little check here, a little check there.
It's time to get that paper, baby. It's time to get it. Heck yeah, man. We got to take a break. But we do got a special guest, Scripps from NXT. We're going to be stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting a little champagne, wishes, caviar drinks. We got to take a quick break. Stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. Blue Chew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. We got our guest, man. We got him.
We do.
We got him. Hey, stepping inside the Hall of Fame from NXT star right now. He's managing the Out the Mud man. Two bad boys, Nima and Price. Welcome in right now to the show. My main man, Scripps. What's up, man?
What's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Hey man, we're doing good, man. We're doing real good, man. I just want to get you inside the Hall of Fame, get a little champagne wishes, a little caviar dreams. You know what? You know how it is, man. By the time we leave today, everybody's gonna be intoxicated of some Hall of Fame action. But no, man, you got a very interesting story, man. That's why I want to, get you in and talk to you a little bit because, kind of like myself, you came up the hard way. And the thing is, people can see you on television, on a weekly basis, and they can think, "Oh man, he's got a silver spoon. And he came up with it. He got it all," But for me, I always say, man, I know what it's like to live with the lights off. I know what it's like, to have rats and roaches running around. You know what I mean? So everything I got, man, it's like a blessing. And then to hear your story, it definitely, I think it's something that, you know, some young man, some young female out there, they need to hear it more than anything because just like on the movie Beowulf, they say, give this man a gold piece. He has a story to tell.
Big facts, Book. Big facts.
No, man. But talk to me, man, about your upbringing, man, because it's like I said, it's definitely touching.
So I'm gonna say this first, Book. How real can we get on this podcast?
We get all the way real, man.
We get all the way funky, like they say, huh? We're gonna get real.
Yeah, most definitely.
We're gonna pull some layers back, most definitely. So I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, Midwest boy, born and raised. I'm one of eight. One of eight. I got 4 sisters and 3 brothers, raised by a single grandmother. My mom died when I was 3 years old from drug abuse, and I never knew my dad. The only thing I heard about my dad was from people around the neighborhood and some family members. They just told me that he was a big drug dealer, and he had people take their clothes off to come into his house. But I never met him. Didn't know anything about him. But that's the full extent of what I know about my parents. Mom drug dealer, my mom drug abuser, dad drug dealer. But by the grace of God, my grandmother, she raised all 8 of us. She didn't let us go into the system. She kept us all together. And she had just finished raising, 6 kids of her own. All her kids were grown. And then she just started over and she said, I'm not going to let none of my kids go into the system. They're going to keep them with me. And so I commend her for that. And, you know what it's like growing up with, as kids, we think was nothing. But we had the most important thing was family. We had each other. We always had food on our table. We may have some Shacks on our feet, some Reeboks, but we had clothes on our backs and shoes on our feet. And so, like I said, I don't really know how she did it, but she did it. She made it work. And she worked around the clock so that we had those essential things right there. But but keeping the family together, that was just part one. It was no cure, no medicine for me following in the footsteps of my brothers and my uncles and many, many guys in the neighborhood. And, people see me in OTM right now and they say, man, how are we supposed to take Reggie serious? He was a sommelier doing backflips and now he hood and now he gangster, but we ain't buying this. I'm like, y'all don't really know that what I'm doing right now, this Scripps character, this is a lot closer to home than anything I've done before. That Reggie character, the sommelier, French, and acrobatics, all that's a part of me. But born and raised St. Louis, this Scripps character, it's pretty close to home. I mean,
I me personally, I definitely we got something in common because I'm the youngest of 8 as well. It's 4 boys, 4 girls as well. So I get it, man. But how tough was it, man? Because I remember, when my mother passed away when I was 13 years old. Me and my sister, she's a couple of years older than I am. We were orphaned at that time, and we didn't have anybody but ourselves to hold on to. I remember being in that house, when the lights got turned off. I remember when the water got turned off. You know what I mean? It was some hard times. I mean, it really was some hard times. How hard was the struggle for your grandmother being, in that position, raising, all the kids?
So the very interesting thing about my family, we never showed affection to each other. So my grandmother never talked about the struggle. And as kids, we didn't know about struggle. We just knew what we was experiencing, and it was normal to us. And so, like, things like not having a father was normal. Things like not having a mom, not saying dad, it was normal. And
Yeah.
my grandmother, bless her heart, she always had food in the house. And it was 8 of us. And so those groceries come and they're gone quick. So she had put these huge padlocks on the cabinets and the fridge. She was like, nah, not today. Y'all not taking all this food. And so it was just, that was life. And my grandmother, she's a very strong woman, but she never showed emotion. We never showed emotion to each other. I didn't grow up saying I love you to my brothers. We didn't hug each other. We didn't like say these words of affirmation, these beautiful words or whatever. We just knew that, oh, you got a problem with what's the name from around the corner? Let's go handle that. So we knew that we loved each other by how we showed like physicality. I always had my sister's back, and we had each other's back and things like that. And so, like, it was tough, but being in it, you don't know what's tough or what's not. You just know this is life. I didn't know that my life was difficult and different until I stepped outside of that circle and started experiencing a lot of different things in life. And that's when the real struggles became evident for me.
I always said when I was a kid, growing up, and the way I used to rationale it was, you never miss what you never had. But you miss it. You miss it. You know what I mean? You just, you just got to put yourself in that mode. You know what I mean? And to actually, that's that survival mechanism that kicks in, to help you get to that next level. Man, I didn't know what I was going to do when I was coming up as a kid. I quit school, of course, went to prison, and whatnot, and I was just trying to figure out how to find myself. How'd you find yourself? And say, man, I don't want to fall in those pitfalls. I know I didn't want to fall in those pitfalls. I saw the drugs, I saw the pimps, the prostitutes, I saw all of that stuff, and I didn't want to be that. I knew I didn't want to be that. Even though I still ended up going to prison, I still knew even when I was behind bars, I was like, man, this is not me. I'm like, I don't like this. I need to get up out of here. How did you find yourself and not fall into those pitfalls?
Man, excuse me. Booker, when I tell you this journey is so long and so bumpy, I at a young age, and when I say young, I'm talking about 6 or 7. I knew exactly where my life was headed. I had the only males in my family were drug dealers, gang members, and they're just D-boys. And so automatically I said, oh, this is what my life is supposed to be. I had some teachers in the 4th grade asked me what I want to be with my life. And, we gave the little vague answers: football player, basketball player, rapper. All kids from where we come from, they say those 3 things because we don't know anything else. And so I just assumed that my life would be the exact same life that my brothers were living. But then, and I was actually okay with that because I didn't see another way of living. But then I went to this program called Lifestones, Live for Life Academy. It was something like that. I can't remember it. And it was a program for high-risk youth. And they basically took us to this facility after school, and we stayed there for 2 hours or whatever after school. And after the 5 or 8 weeks or whatever it was, we were assigned these mentors. And I got this older white woman, and they were saying, oh, you have to spend 10 hours for 10 weeks with your student. And I said, all right, cool. So I spent the time with her. She started coming to my school. Immediately I was embarrassed because I had this white woman coming to my school around all my black friends, and I'm in a predominantly black neighborhood. So we don't have anyone else outside of our race in our community. So that was a target to be picked on. And so after the first 2 weeks, I said, nah, I don't want to be bothered with you. Let's just discontinue our relationship right now. But that was the first person that never gave up on me. After I pushed her to the side, she came back to my school saying, why doesn't he want me in his life? All the kids are picking on him from having a mentor. And so she said, all right, let's meet up after school. Meet up on the weekends. And so she like asked me, like, what do you like to do? And I said, in very shy little voice, I like to flip. And she would just watch me flip in the gymnasium and go to like different places and watch me flip or whatever. And then she took me to a circus at 11 years old. And
hold it right there. Hold it right there. We got to take a quick break.
Okay.
11 years old is when it pretty much all started. Hey guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame, man. We got scripts. We'll be back in a second. And it's Booker T, 6-time world champion, my man Brad Gilmore from Manscaped. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is here. And let me tell you, it's got futuristic tendencies included in this bundle, guys. Brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra, the Weed Whacker 2.0 ear and nose and hair trimmer, and essentials aftercare products like the Crop Soother, the Bald Aftershave Lotion, and the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafing Ball Deodorant, and 2 free gifts. Oh, yes.
That's right, Book. Their 5th generation lawnmower features 2 interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. And did I mention it's waterproof too? Manscaped, they did us a favor, Book. All the listeners of the Hall of Fame, and they threw in 2 free gifts: the Boxers 2.0 and the Shed 2.0 toiletry bag. Resolutions may come and go, but a well-groomed you is here to stay with Manscaped's latest and greatest.
Yeah, and start the new year off right, because when you look good, you feel good. Manscaped help you sculpt the best version of yourself for the year ahead. New year and new you, and definitely a new trimmer. Manscaped got your grooming resolutions covered. Guys, get 20% off and free shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code Booker. Happy New Year to your balls. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. We got scripts in the highs, man. Talking about life. Somebody out there listening to this definitely can get something out of this, because you just never know. You just never know who's been in that same position that you've been in, and how you can draw that inspiration more than anything. But talk to me, like you said, it started when you was 11 years old, when everything pretty much changed for you.
Yeah, she took me to my first circus show at 11 years old. It was on Grand and Del Mar. It was a white and red big circus tent, big chapiteau. And you know how it is. When something is introduced that's new, that's different, that you don't know anything about, you immediately withdraw from it. And that's what I did. She took me in. I'm watching the shows. I see like a bunch of clowns, animals. I smell like horse poop and all of this stuff. I'm just like, man, what is this? I'm like watching this, very uncomfortable. And she saw my face and she said, "Are you okay?" I said, "No, I'm just very uncomfortable being here. Can we leave?" And she said, "Are you sure?" I said, "Yeah, I really want to leave this place." And we left. But what I didn't know, she was taking me there to meet up with a woman named Jessica Hentoff. And she was the head acrobatic coach for a group called the St. Louis Arches. It was a group that compiled a bunch of kids all around St. Louis, and their main focus was acrobatics and whatnot. But I walked out on that blessing because I was so close-minded, like so many of us are from where we're from. So fast forward, it's like 3 to 4 months later, I went to the City Museum, the home of the St. Louis Arches, and I saw this ring with a bunch of like tumbling mats on there. So I just run in and started flipping. And some coach come out and say, "Hey, you can't flip here unless you're a student." I said, "Well, how do I become a student? Because all I want to do is flip." He gave me this paperwork. I signed it up. Then I did a 10-week like circus patchwork class. It was called Patchwork, 10-week circus class. We trained for 9 weeks, and then the 10th week we put on a show. And Booker, that was probably the most fun I've ever had in my life. First time in my life, 11 years old, I was able to be a kid doing something that I actually enjoyed doing. Didn't have to worry about no guns, no gangs, no drugs, no violence, no judging or nothing. So I did that show, and then Jessica come to me and she said, "Hey, you were very good. Would you like to be a part of our troupe called the St. Louis Arches?" I said, what is this troop? And what do they do? So it's our advanced acrobatic group, and you get paid. When she said that, I'm like, oh, I can get paid for doing flips? Sign me up. So that was the beginning of like my circus journey, circus career. And, I was probably in like the 4th, 5th grade, somewhere around there. And that journey was just bumpy because trying to fit in and be someone else outside of school in my neighborhood, being this circus performer, doing something that I absolutely had no clue what it was, but I fell in love with it. Found a whole new meaning of life, but I couldn't be the same person in my neighborhood.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. How'd your boys look at you, wanting to do that? Because that's what I got when I started wrestling. I used to like sneak over to the other side of town and wrestle with the white guys. And they all was like, man, that stuff's stupid. Man, you ain't gonna do anything with that. I got that kind of hate. How'd your boys feel about you trying to better yourself?
So I had one homeboy, my best friend, his name's Sean Jones. We got real close in middle school. He was the only one from my neighborhood that was from my area that was cool with it, because he was a positive dude. He wasn't a positive dude, but he was the man. But he was the only one that really like saw that I was doing something positive. Everyone else, are you clown? Are you gay? Excuse my words. He was like, you gay wearing these tight leotards and tights and whatever. You fruitcake, you a monkey, all of these different things. I'm like, dang, I really had to deal with that when I went back to my neighborhood. So it was either I go against the grain or I go with the flow. So throughout middle school and high school, it was I do circus in the summer. School start, I quit. Play basketball, be a banger. And then once everything like hit rock bottom, I go back to circus, because I knew that when I had circus, they gave me the thing that I needed most, and that was time away from my normal life. The more time I spent in the circus, the less time I spent on the street. But trying to balance those two out, it was tough. I got into many fights because I was called these names. I did care what people thought about me. I mean, without even trying to be in the streets, I was the younger brother of 2 gang members. My older brother, Demetrius, was known for fighting, and my other brother, Rodney, he was known for stealing cars. So they call him Ride Out and call my brother Knockout King, and they call me Lil Skunker. They call me, because they call my brother Ride Out Skunker as well, Skunker Boy. They call me Lil Skunker. So I'm like, I can't get away from that life, because I have to go back and sleep in those neighborhoods and whatnot. But once high school started, you really couldn't tell me nothing, Booker. I was leaving the house at 6 o'clock in the morning as if I was going to school, going to the homeboy crib, playing Madden. And when I did go to school, I'm just shooting dice, skipping class, playing basketball. It was bad. It was real bad. And I didn't have that. Let me rewind. Just one important thing. When I was younger, this is when I found out circus was becoming more my real family than my actual family. My uncle.
Yeah.
Like you said, wrestling wasn't cool when we were younger. And I used to watch wrestling with my uncle. His name was Miles. And it wasn't cool. But when I was a kid, he was the coolest guy in the city. He had all the money, had all the women, he had all the respect. And he would watch wrestling with me. And so for me, I'm like, oh, people don't like wrestling. They can say what they want to say, but he the man. So that was our thing. And I remember he got killed in my bedroom. He got his face blown off with a shotgun. I see his bed. I see his fingers blown off, and he's just twitching. And next to my bed, my bunk bed, the leg was covered in his blood. And I'm what, 13, 14 years old, and I dealt with that for like a month. 2 weeks, I couldn't sleep in my room. And my circus coach, she took me to her house and she let me stay with her until everything kind of like died down. And she would take me from like the complete opposite end of the city to the north side to school every morning, pick me up and things like that. And she wasn't a big fan of wrestling or fighting or whatever, so she never let me watch it in her house. But when I got back, I tried to turn the TV on and watch Monday or Thursday, whatever, SmackDown or Raw, I don't know which one. When I turned it on, I had this feeling in my stomach. And I couldn't fathom to watch wrestling because the only thing that I had with my uncle was we watched wrestling together on Mondays and Thursdays. And so once that happened, I stopped watching wrestling because it was too painful. The coolest guy that I knew that watched wrestling with me, he's gone. So it was no wrestling, no circus. It was back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then my junior year, I got into a gang fight, and that sent me rock bottom. I didn't spend a lot of time in prison, but I was in the Justice Center for like 3 days, my junior year of high school. And when I tell you, there was enough time for me to say, oh yeah, nah, I can't do this. I can't sit in this cell. The thing that's most important to me, my time, my freedom, I was going crazy in there. And I was just in there holding. I ain't never did no real time, but those 3 days book, whoo, I said, yeah, I ain't doing this. But I said, no way.
It don't take but a minute, man. It don't take but a minute. I know when I was looking at the walls and I see names on the wall, you know, I was here. And I go, well, how the hell did I get here? I got to get up. I got to get up out of here. It was like a movie, man. I was like, I got to get up out of here. But I knew I was better than that. I knew I was here for more than just to be a number and be locked up in a cell and put away. I knew I had more purpose in this life than that. I really did. What made you, make that ultimate change? What made you finally really see the light? Was it, of course, that 3 days, but after you come out, after those 3 days, it's time to, either you gonna go one way or the other. You got a fork in the road right here. What was the change?
It's funny because after those 3 days, I told myself, like right when they let me out, I said, I'm changing my life. And then I hit that fork in the road on Friday or Thursday, whatever day it was. I went back to my school, trying to go to school, trying to get there, get in. They said, oh, no, player, you expelled. You can't come here. That walk of shame home was brutal. I went back to the homeboy crib and I said, all right, F it. This is my life. Left circus behind. I went to the hood. And that summer, I got shot at every other night. I started selling some stuff. And it was bad. I put myself in so many unfortunate situations. I thought it couldn't get any worse when I was sitting in that holding cell for 3 days. It got a lot worse. Rock bottom, then it went further. And I'm sitting at home and I get a phone call. My homeboy just got killed. My homeboy Jarrell. This was the guy that was with me in the during the gang fight. When he got killed, I went spiraling. I was in car accidents, stolen cars, everything.
Did you think you were gonna die?
Look, I didn't think I was gonna die, but I was very unsure if I was gonna live. I don't know if that sounds weird or not.
Yeah. I get that.
When you at a certain age, you say, bro, it's a blessing to make it to 15, or it's a blessing to make it to 18. Or man, once I make it to 21, 24, I never saw myself as an old man because it was always milestones for like 15, 18, 21 and whatnot. And I seen people that were sitting in classrooms with me that didn't reach 15, didn't reach 18, didn't reach 21.
Yeah.
So I didn't see myself as an old man, but it was like day by day, it's a blessing to be here. And as much as I wanted to change, I kept doing the same dang things. Standing on the corner till midnight, putting myself in unfortunate situations, stealing cars, fighting for no reason. It was just like, it was you don't know what the light is if all you know is dark.
You know what? I'm gonna add to that here in a minute. We gotta take a quick break. Stick around. We'll be back in a second. Oh, I guess we ain't gonna be taking a break.
She's a business owner and a former beauty queen.
She sure is, and she also performed with the godfather of soul himself. Now she's changing people's lives. Sharmell Huffman doesn't do this for fame or fortune. She says it's what we all should do to help each other. And I was honored to sit down and talk with this incredible superstar for our 2024 Remarkable Women finalists.
I am Charmel Huffman, and I am co-owner of Reality of Wrestling.
Charmel Huffman's mission with her husband, world-renowned wrestler Booker T, is to change the world of wrestling and change lives.
So hopefully their dreams can come true like ours did.
Huffman's own dreams began in 1991.
I was at Spelman College, majored in math, and all of a sudden became Miss Black America.
It led her to the godfather of soul.
That was an amazing 3.5 years of my life. A young girl from Gary, Indiana, and I was able to literally travel the world. You know, James Brown was a legend.
Then to success with wrestling and induction into the WWE Hall of Fame.
My father used to always say to me, to whom much is given, much is asked. And I've always felt that desire to give back.
Through the Booker T Fights for Kids Foundation, she's given out college scholarships, backpacks, helped single moms, women with breast cancer, and veterans, and even filled 18-wheelers full of hurricane supplies.
There's a need, we tend to step in. And we do it quietly. We don't want the attention, we just want to help. It's important because somebody took a chance on me. So for me to be nominated for this is just extraordinary.
And you can watch Reality of Wrestling, which airs right here on CW39 Sunday mornings at 1 a.m. And to learn more about Charmel Huffman and all that she does, head to our website, CW39.com. We're CW39 Houston. No wait weather and traffic.
Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. We got scripts talking about life, man. Talking about life, just talking about how dark it can get sometime. And for me, I've been in that dark place before in my life too, you know, but I refuse to give up, man. I refuse to give up. And I just say, I'm gonna just keep walking. I'm gonna just keep walking towards the light, you know, and hopefully finally I'll get there. And one day I finally made it. And once I got there, I never looked back. I just kept going forward. As far as you making it towards that light, having to go back and go through all of that and see all of that. And the thing is, you put yourself in that situation as well. You know what I mean? You was offered opportunities. You say the ladies tried to help you, and you pretty much passed that to the side just because, you know, peer pressure. You know what I mean? I talk with young people all the time, and I say, man, you know, for me, when I came out of prison, I say, I know I was a convict. I know I had that X on my back, and I knew I had to prove, you know, to people that they could trust me. So I did everything I possibly could to clean up that dirt. But when that man, Bruce Gasarch, I remember he offered me his help. And I was like, I took it. I took that hand. I held on to it, man. And he put me through wrestling school, helped me get my first car. And I wanted to pay him back, and he said, nah, man, I just want you to pay it forward. I don't want anything. And, you know, what was that, you know, big change in your life to finally, you know, put you on the right track?
It was right after my friend was shot and killed. That summer, I'm sitting in my boy's crib, and I get a phone call from the circus woman. Her name is Jessica, the one that runs the circus show. And they were doing their the last performance at Circus Flora. That's the show that I walked out on the very first time with the big white and red circus tent. She said, hey, our last show is tonight. I would love it if you come see it. I said, I don't know, maybe I will. I'm just down, I'm depressed. I'm just like, whatever. I'll think about it. And I hung up, and I'm sitting there. And at this point, there's a bunch of guys that are in the circus right now that I still hang out with, but I inspired them to join the circus. But then I left once they got there. But I said, whatever. I went down there, I watched the show. I'm sitting in the audience, and I saw the joy on their faces. But I saw all the joy they were having. I saw the crowd just laughing and cheering and whatnot. And then I feel like something in me, I feel like I was the only person in that circus show, in the audience. It was dark around me, and I just saw that light in the ring, and something in me said, what are you doing? Like this woman has given you a way out of your situation, and you're constantly throwing it back in her face. And when I had that epiphany, it was no looking back. I graduated high school, had to go to alternative school. Then I finally graduated high school. Then I signed up once I graduated in 2010. I took 1 year off, and I trained and got my body right, got my mind right, everything right. And I did a tryout for the National Circus School in Canada. And I trained my butt off for that entire year. When that tryout came around, I was ready. I was so ready. And it was 150 students the first day. And they had us have these jerseys on. It's very much like a WWE tryout. Had these jerseys with these numbers on. And it was 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. And then we're sitting in the cafeteria. Some woman comes down with this little USB disc. She puts it in the TV, and all these numbers pop up. If your number on that screen, you made it to the next day. If you didn't, pack your bag because you're going home. By the grace of God, I made it through the entire week. It was a week-long audition, and they were making cuts every day. I made it to that final day. Had to wait a month until they gave us the final word if they're going to accept us or not. I got that call on April Fool's Day, April 1st. And I didn't have an email back then, so they emailed my coach, Jessica. I just found out my homeboy didn't make it. She called me and said, "I'm sorry you didn't make it." I was like, dang. I sat down in my living room. She's like, "I'm joking. You made it." A horrible joke, right? The pure joy from that moment right there, Book. I said, everything I do in my life is going to be for my homeboy, but I'm not coming back to St. Louis. Like I knew where I was headed because I knew where I've been. I wasn't going back to St. Louis. And then I get to Montreal, 3-year program, and struggles. But like I said, I wasn't going back to St. Louis. And then, honestly, the rest is history. The rest is history. Beautiful life after that.
Nah, man. You struggled. You went through it. Your story is, so parallel to my story. Just because you've gone through a whole lot, that doesn't mean that that's going to define you. Define who you are in this life. Define who you inspire. To get up off that sofa and want to do something, or get up out of them streets and do something. That's your true calling more than anything. The wrestling thing, man, of course, the wrestling thing is what it is. It's great. It's great being a part of the business. It's the best job. I always say the wrestling business is the best job in the world, man. You ain't gonna find a better job than the wrestling business, getting a chance to travel around the world. But you got a chance to do that before you got to the wrestling business. So that right there should have, I think, prepared you for the WWE. I say preparation is the only luck. How did that life, on the road, doing that, prepare you for that WWE lifestyle?
I want to touch on something. We can get to it afterwards. You talked about the wrestling is great. The wrestling is great, but I'm gonna tell you right now, there's something that's greater than the wrestling, and the wrestling is giving me the platform. But we're gonna touch upon that after for sure, because that's the most important message I want to get out. Doing this podcast. But yeah, man, I graduated from Circus College in 2014. And I started in the first city I traveled to was not Chateau Vallon. It was somewhere in France. It was just on the border of France. And I have a foggy memory because I've been to over like 20, 30 different countries. And in France, I've been to 10, 15 different cities. And so I know France like the back of my hand in many ways. But yeah, I was well-traveled before I got here. All of the skills and everything that I learned in circus, it made the tryout almost like effortlessly for me because everything transitioned so well. And so just learning the art of punctuality, respect, teamwork, all of these like life skills that I learned from circus are the very much same life skills you need in this business. And like all of the crazy stuff that I had to learn on the fly, as far as like being a good person, being making the right decisions or whatever, I learned that in circus. So when I came over, I felt like I was a professional. Like I was very new. I was very new to the business, but you weren't gonna catch me like failing drug tests or being upset about not being used or saying this business owes me something. Booker, when I knew I was coming to WWE, I had a year left on my circus contract, and we were traveling around. We went to Connecticut, we went to Montreal, Vancouver, Ottawa, Calgary, and whatnot. I said, they saw me in the tryout. They said they want me in this tryout, but I need to further my my skills. I messaged every circuit school from every city that we went to, and I got some training at Tesla Strength under Bobby Wagner in Connecticut, Drew Onyx in Montreal, Pro House Fitness in Calgary. I was just training all over. Then I sent the video to Matt Bloom, and he was all like, "Oh, this is good." The next thing you know, I got my contract. Everything was in the mail, and next thing you know, I was there in 2020. So I was like, "Oh man, good thing I had that mindset of not just saying they want me, they're gonna call me when they want." I said, "No, let me go get it." And so that's the mentality I've had since I got here. It doesn't matter about the booking or whatever. What's gonna happen is gonna happen. I can control what I can control, and you're never gonna see me walk through those doors with a upside down smile. Man, I am blessed to be here, bro.
Oh man, no, I already know, man. I teach my students that same thing. I said you got to be a pro from the beginning. You got to you got to know you're a professional. You know what I mean? So now having that mindset coming in the door is definitely something that you need. I think in this business, all the great ones have it. Like I say, the wrestling thing is what it is. But what you've done before wrestling, and I think what you're doing now as far as trying to pay it forward, helping the underprivileged kids, helping the youth. The kids always say sometimes, I was a kid once upon a time myself, and I said only thing I needed, I think more than anything, was a pat on the back and somebody to tell me, man, you could do this. You could do this. And then I needed somebody to kick me in the butt when I wasn't doing it right as well. I actually wanted that. You know what I mean? And that's something that I didn't get. That's something that I had to teach myself. I want to let you talk about helping the youth, the underprivileged kids. We've got to take one more quick break here real quick. Stick around, guys. We'll be back in a minute. What's up, y'all? It's your man, Booker T, 6-time world champion, 2-time Hall of Famer, and I'm here with my main man, Brad Gilmore, on the Hall of Fame podcast. And today we're talking about something that's been a game changer for us, and that's HelloFresh.
That's right, Booker. Whether you're looking to save money, eat better, or stress less in the new year, HelloFresh has got you covered. We're talking about farm-fresh ingredients, chef-crafted recipes, and the best part, it's all delivered right to your doorstep.
Brad, I used to stress about meal planning, especially with my busy schedule. But with HelloFresh, man, I'm whipping up quick, tasty meals in no time. And my favorite has got to be their 15-minute recipes. Man, who knew I could cook a gourmet meal that fast?
Absolutely, Book. But let's talk about variety. HelloFresh has over 45 dinner options each week. So that's right. There's going to be no more recipe boredom. Plus, they've got calorie smart and protein smart options, perfect for keeping those New Year's resolutions in check.
And Brad, as a family man, I'm sitting down for dinner with my crew, and it's important. HelloFresh quick and easy meals have made that reality. Even on the busiest nights, it's just convenient. It's bringing the family together.
And don't forget, breakfast fans, HelloFresh is hooking you up, the listeners of the Hall of Fame podcast, with free breakfast for life. That's right, a free breakfast item with every delivery. Now, that's a sweet deal to wake up to.
Y'all heard it here first. Go to HelloFresh.com/BookerFree and use the code, man, BookerFree, to get your free breakfast for life. Remember, one breakfast item per box while your subscription is active. Oh yeah, man.
That's HelloFresh.com/BookerFree with the code BookerFree. Don't miss out on America's #1 meal kit.
Join us in making cooking fun, easy, and absolutely delicioso. It's HelloFresh. You got it. Oh yeah. Can you dig it, sucker?
It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. Got scripts here inside the Hall of Fame. Getting a little champagne wishes, caviar dreams, but I know you got to get out of here. He's got work to do. He's a busy man, but I do want to let you talk about, your efforts and, helping the underprivileged.
Yes, sir. I mean, you touched on it early on. You said your coach told you when you asked how can you repay him, he said pay it forward. I asked my coach the exact same thing, Booker. My circus coach, Warren Bacon, acrobatic coach, he was the man that helped me pay for my flight, my room and board when I got to the tryout and everything. Always just been a big proponent in my life of just helping me. And so I said, man, how do I repay you? He said, my job is complete. I've given him the son that he always wanted, and just pay it forward. And so throughout my entire journey in the circus, I always go back to St. Louis, help the kids. I teach the kids, I give back to the community in that way. And, when I left Cirque du Soleil, I was searching for a bigger purpose. And then I came to WWE and I said, oh man, this is the best time to be a wrestler. This is the best time to be a part of the company. The company has evolved from just a wrestling show. It's much more than that. And I said, the wrestling is great. I would love to be world champion one day, tag team champion, whatever. I would love to be champion in this company one day. I actually am 24/7, but that's neither here or there. But I would love to be champion in this company. But the thing I love more is I want to be that light for every kid in the world that doesn't have it. So I'm like, use me, abuse me in the best way possible. Put me in front of all of the little kids that want to be inspired. Take me to all the different communities and just let me speak to these kids, because all these kids need, Book, is someone that looks like them and that's gone through the same things as them to say, you can do it. Yeah. You can be anything you want to be. I've had people come to my school, but they didn't look like me. They weren't walking those streets like me. I'm like, we saw our first black president. And now every little black kid in the world can say, oh man, I can really be president of the United States. Representation is key. Yeah, and so that's what it's all about. Like, I can care less about what I accomplish in the ring. It would be great, but that's not where my priority lies. My priority is to be that father figure, that light, that thing for so many kids. I'm in the process. I just finished writing everything up. My organization that I'm starting, it's called RBB, Rise Beyond Borders, where our mission is to empower at-risk youth with the tools and resources they need to break the cycle of adversity and create a life map to a brighter future. Booker, that's all I want to do in this world. Like, once you, like, I live comfortably. My fiance, my kids, they have everything they need in the world. I have everything I need in the world. I don't need more. I just need to be able to do stuff for people that don't have the luxuries that I have right now, the luxuries that I didn't have as a kid. And so that's what that organization is going to be. It's going to be opening these kids' eyes and putting them around people and around different professions to where they say, I didn't even know there was an option. Yeah. Because as a kid, I didn't know circus was an option. I didn't think circus was going to take me all around the world. Mm-hmm. Like, even with wrestling, like, I'm like, oh, this is a dream that I never knew I could even achieve when I was a kid. Yeah. And now I'm here. Mm-hmm. So I wasn't able to see myself as a 25-year-old boy or 18-year-old boy until I got there. But once I got out of that cycle, I see myself as a 70, 80-year-old man. Yeah. It's incredible, Booker. Yeah. From not being able to go 2 streets over because of rival gangs, I was traveling the world as an acrobat.
Hey, man, that's for believing in yourself, putting in the work, and knowing that, it's still yet so much work yet to be done. Mm-hmm. The journey is just beginning. And for you to be able to, share that story with me, man, is very, very important for young people, especially young people of color like you and I, to be able to see that, with a little bit of hard work, being in the right place at the right time, having someone believe in me, I might break up out of this cycle. And the thing is, we hear about it all the time. We hear about, these kids in Chicago, these kids in St. Louis, the gang bangers. And I always say, if you got a gang banger, he could be the leader of the gang. He have a little baby with his girl. Don't think for a second that he don't want that kid to go to college, finish school, go to college, and get a great job. But if those opportunities aren't there for him, they're gonna bless him right into the gang and say, "Baby, let's roll, and do what we got to do." That's just the nature of the beast. That's the lifestyle in the hood. So for me, man, I really, really, truly appreciate you kicking it with me and giving me some time. You got a comic book coming out, right? You talk about doing a comic book.
I couldn't even read in high school and write in high school, and now I have a comic book. I have an autobiography that's in audio form, Audible. I have a TV show that the pilot episode is finished. I started writing another a movie for a short film that me and my boy want to film. 2 children's books, comic book, all Booker. Cirque du Soleil artist, WWE wrestler, author, and I had 6 F's and a D in high school. It doesn't matter what you go through or whatever. It's about the now. And like you said, a little bit of hard work, and you can have anything in this world.
Yeah, man. I appreciate that, man. How can your fans get a hold to you, man, and chop it up with you?
I mean, you can reach me on all social media platforms. You have scripts.wwe on Instagram, same one on Twitter, and TikTok is same thing as well.
Boom, boom.
Yeah.
Hey, man, there again, man, I just want to thank you for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Getting your champagne wishes and caviar dreams, man. Dropping it like it's hot. Letting everybody know, man, if Scripps can make it, if Booker T can make it, out of our situations that we went through. I lost my dad when I was 10 months old. Lost my mom when I was 13. Scripps lost his mom when he was 3 years old. Didn't even know his dad, but he rose to success in this lifetime. Guys, if we could do it, you could do it too. I just want to give you guys that before we get up out of here. Always, man, Brad, for the heavy lifting, the fans for stepping in, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. We love you guys. And until next time, like I always say, peace. We love you. We out.